Greetings and thank you for tuning in to SNN, the Southern News Network, where all the special things at Southern Regional are shared with our very supportive and generous community. My name is Craig Henry. It's an honor to present our third episode of a series we've been doing during this COVID-19 pandemic shutdown, school shutdown, which is a series called Good to See You, Can't Wait to See You. And it's a format that we felt was important to help teams and other performing groups who have been apart for a while to connect, to give each other a sense of what is around the corner and how we can stay positive through what are otherwise very challenging and uncertain times. So this is episode 3. This is the men's track program. Part of this video will be our head coach, Scott Baker, senior Ryan Maloney, and junior Jude Searles. And like we have in our other previous broadcasts, following all the social distancing guidelines and all the CDC's various personal protection requirements. So we're maintaining a 6-foot social distancing standard here in the studio. And the only other people in the studio beyond the 4 track participants are 2 production staff, Taylor Brennan and Shayla Duca, who are 6 feet apart in the control and sound booth. So thank you everybody for being here. This was actually, Scott, our second attempt to broadcast this third episode. The first attempt we had some technical difficulties and we weren't able to pull it off. So thank you, men, for coming back and being flexible in your schedule. But things have changed since the first episode was attempted. That first episode was scheduled for last Thursday, and we were still holding out hope that the school could maybe resume and that perhaps a shortened season would still be possible. Now the governor made the decision on Monday that school will not reopen and that we will continue with remote learning. So obviously what we intended to accomplish Thursday will be different this week. I think the message has still got to be that we're going to be positive, we're going to be hopeful, we're going to be do whatever we can to get through this period. It's just unfortunate that we won't be able to talk about perhaps a renewed season. That being said, we've got great decision makers that are making great decisions. So our disappointment in not having a season or be able to regroup is not a reflection of decisions. Those decisions are being made for what's in everybody's best interest, and it's just something that we now have to adjust to. So that being said, like we did before in the previous episodes, we're going to seat change during the broadcast. So right now in the studio with us is senior Ryan Maloney. Ryan, thanks so much for being here. So my first question is to you. We've been out for 7 weeks now. How quickly did you adjust? Have you settled into this new norm? And how are things going for you?
I would say it was definitely a hard adjustment. It's not every day that you get told that you can't go out and do the normal things that you're used to. So I can't go out and go to a store if I forgot something that I need to get for, say, at home, or if I need something for school. And I can't go and run track anymore. I can't work out. So it was a hard adjustment. Definitely took some precautions. We stuck with really only my mom and I going out, so the rest of the family wasn't getting put at risk. And it was kind of just an all-around, just trying to keep exposure to a limited amount. And it kind of just stuck with us doing what's best for us, staying home, keeping each other healthy, all of that fun stuff.
Sure. And I'm impressed with how quickly society, and in your case, both the students here today, when you came in last week, you had your face coverings. You had them on today. You took it off for the broadcast. But, I tip my hat to those of us who, and which is everybody I'm coming into contact with, who have made the adjustment and are adhering to the new requirements because it's in our best interest. So thank you for sharing that. My next question is to Coach. We had a faculty meeting on March 13, and that was with the idea that maybe something was going to change in public school, but we weren't sure what. And so that was just to tee it up with folks that stay tuned because there's something right around the corner here. Obviously, over the course of that weekend, school closed. What was your perspective back on that? Did you attend that meeting, or were you with the boys that day?
I was at the boys, but Coach K was there. So
Coach K was there, and he backfilled you. So what was your perspective on the 13th and your expectations, and how, if any, has that changed now?
Oh, God, a whole full range of emotions between now and then. It didn't just happen again on Monday. When it first happened, you were just unsure because you see all the news going on with all the coronavirus all over the world, and Italy shutting down at that point in time. You're like, oh, what's happening? You're so unsure, and it's kind of like that uneasiness. And then it shut down, and you're like, okay, so there's something new. We have to learn how to do this remote classroom, and what happens to my boys and my family and everything else. So everything's changed. And then it starts to become some kind of normal, and you have this hope that maybe we can start school again. And then you keep on waiting, and you see other states shutting down schools. And then, okay, Murphy's going to make his announcement on that Monday, and you come that Monday, and he makes the announcement. I thought I was ready for it, no matter what happened, and it hit you like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't ready for it, and I'm still kind of processing and going through it. And I guess the expression is you don't know how good you have something till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I'm missing everything that happens here all the time.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent encapsulation of the, you think you're ready, because I knew it was coming, but you were holding out hope, and is it going to be at noon? And some information sound bites that I was receiving from the late last week, that week prior through the weekend. I knew, okay, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's if every other state is following suit, it's just there's too much at risk and too much unknown not to make that decision. Having said that, once the decision came down, as much as I thought I was ready, deflating.
Yeah.
And then saw a couple of students who I've been doing different projects with, from 6 feet apart, and they too were ready, but it was tears, and it was, but as some are saying, the Band-Aid's off. So now that the Band-Aid's been ripped off, let's plan, and let's just get to work, and let's do what we got to do, so that hopefully September can be more of a normal situation.
Absolutely.
So like we've been doing in our other broadcasts, we have different members of the program popping in. Our first pop-in is going to be Dylan Bates. Hey Dylan, how's it going, bud?
Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well during this COVID-19 outbreak. I'd like to take a moment to thank all the seniors who are missing their spring season and the ending of their senior year. It must be really tough, and I feel really bad for you guys. And even though I still have another year left of high school, it won't be the same without you all. And thank you for everything you've done for the school.
Hey, thanks, Dylan. It's a great message. Great guy, great message, great family. Next question's for you, Ryan. How is the whole remote learning working for you?
I would say definitely getting used to remote learning was a challenge, simply because you can't ask questions face to face. You can't have that one-on-one learning experience if you stay after, if you need to catch up, if you miss a lesson. You can't really make any of that up. It's all online. So thankfully nowadays that we have FaceTiming, so you can talk to your friends can possibly tutor you. It's definitely good. There are more resources that are coming out now to help all of us with this online learning. The teachers are getting used to their learning styles, and it's all becoming I think it's a well-oiled machine now. We're all kind of in a good state with it. I'm pretty used to it, so I would say it's pretty good for me, and it gives me a lot more time to get other things accomplished.
Great answer. Coach, how has it been for you staying in touch with both the team and of course your students as well?
Well, with both Google Classroom has been awesome with both of it. I've used actually I call it Google Team Room now, because I set up a classroom for my team. And every day I set up a workout or something for they can do on their own, keep them active there. The same thing with Google Classroom. I set up take a video every day for a lesson and film stuff, and the kids will ask questions back and forth. If they have a question, a private comment me, and I'll answer it right away. If I need to, I'll put it into a video for the next day for them to review. So it works out. I mean, it's not ideal, like especially with some of the kids I teach that need to have more questions. And I feel bad for them. Like it hurts. That hurts a little bit. Because they have questions, you're trying to explain as best you can,
right,
and you can't. But in this time, I've learned some new things that I can use in the future. Like I've made some videos for cross country and track that I put out for the kids. I made some pamphlets and flyers and stuff I could use. I'm using Google Classroom, making videos and lessons and stuff to put that online. That's stuff I can use down the road. So it's the silver lining, I guess you could say.
Right.
So,
Now, how are most students asking questions one-on-one, following up in the classroom, or do you have any kind of collective format where questions are warehoused for everybody to see?
It depends whether the kid's comfortable asking. They give you a private comment me on it or comment right in the lesson itself.
Okay.
And each kid's different.
Right.
Some kids will ask the questions and not afraid, just like a classroom. Some kids will ask you, some kids are kind of want you to come over to them. And it's that same idea there. Reaching out to kids, so I found different ways to contact kids. Like sometimes you find the number on the Genesis, so you could message them there, or find them on social media and try to get some work in and stuff like that. So it's been kind of neat. It's a nice little way to pull in some kids and reach some kids that haven't reached before.
Cool, cool. Well, glad it's working, and you're using a couple different ways or methods to be able to reach out to kids. That's important to be flexible. Hey, we got another pop-in. Hank Gallagher, what an athlete he is, a football player, and of course a talented track participant. So, hey, Hank, what do you got, bud?
Hey, it's good to see you. I'm doing well. How are you? I've been working out and running and spending time with my family. I'd like to say that, it's hard to see the future and if it's all going to be okay. And I just want to let everyone know that it's going to be okay. We just have to remain calm, do what they tell us. And, stay away from people for right now. But it's going to get better soon enough. We all just got to be patient, and let the people do what they need to do. And, do the right things. Stay positive, everybody.
Hank.
Hey.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Great message, Hank. And I like the new look. He's got the whole beard thing going on.
That's...
Last time I saw him, he was clean shaven. That was that first week of March. Now he's got the look going on. And he's got the Deion Sanders message. It's going to be okay. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise you. I guess that goes with the beard. So, Hank, what a great guy he is. So thanks for popping in, Hank. Back to Ryan. How's the workload? Now, you've adjusted to the whole online model. How does the workload compare from the remote learning to when you were in the classroom with the daily homework workload?
So I would say towards the first couple weeks of this whole quarantine, we had daily assignments that were due the following day. And now, since it's getting better, we're all getting used to it, there's larger assignments that are either for the whole week or it's 2 days combined. It's a lot easier because it gives you time to work on your assignments. You get to manage your time better. You get to deal with it how you want. But definitely the assignments are getting larger the farther on we go, simply because we're all used to this online learning and that we have more opportunities to get the work done and a lot more time to understand it and comprehend it and take a quiz if we need to at the end of the week. So it's all getting better. The workloads are getting bigger though, but they kind of are the equivalent of a normal school day, I would say.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing with us. Hey, we have another pop-in. This is the first time we have a coach popping in. We got Coach Keogh.
Of course, Coach.
I can't wait to hear what he has to say. What a great guy he is. What do you got, Coach?
Hi everyone, Coach Keogh here, repping our Southern S, which represents our Southern Tree family. And I feel like we're all still connected right now virtually. We're keeping in touch with everybody via Google Classroom. And I really just commend the coaching staff and the athletes, the student athletes, for all the hard work they're still putting in the classroom and also athletically, posting daily workouts, and we're all staying motivated with inspirational quotes and videos on a daily basis. And it's good to see the Southern family and our track and field family staying connected during these times. And our virtual track meet was a lot of fun against Jackson Memorial. So it was my first virtual track meet. I know it was probably a first for many, and it was a closely fought virtual track meet and a lot of fun. We hope to do another one in the future. But until then, just everybody keep up the great work, keep working hard, and most of all, stay motivated and be there for one another. All right? I'm about to go for my own run here. Can't wait to see all of you. Take care.
Great message, Coach. And I'll tell you what, Scott, I don't know that I know a more positive, upbeat individual than Kendrick, who always has something nice to say and always goes out of the way to say something nice and make somebody's day.
Coach K is the most talkative, happiest person you've ever been around. He is insane. It's awesome.
He fits the Southern culture model,
Yes,
the Southern
he does.
family model. So thanks for popping in, Coach. Back to the remote learning, Scott. How are you doing with pacing? Are you able to stay on pace with the curriculum standards, or are you falling off? I'm sure you're not accelerating the pace.
No, and we probably slowed down the pace because it's topics and you're trying to cover them, everything else. But I said the silver lining in things is we don't have the disruptions now with the senior trip and stuff that we had before in testing. So now with those lost days that we had there, I've picked up. Now I'm able to cover. By the end of the school year, I'm going to cover the same amount of material I've done last year.
Okay.
Because of those missed days. So in a little more drawn out process, but still covering the same amount of stuff.
Are you able to get in as deep into the curriculum, or are you having to therefore skim the surface so you can just stay on pace?
You're forced to pick out what's the important details. I mean, truth be told, in some of the math stuff, it's some goes real deep. So you're trying to figure out what do they need to know to be successful in the next level. So that kind of stuff you're really focusing on. And some of the other outside stuff, you don't really, you kind of, I guess, trim the fat a little bit if you can.
I like that because I think that goes back to something Ryan said. I think when you just said, like pick out what's important.
Yeah.
I think this whole experience, at least and how I'm experiencing, is making me prioritize whether it's schoolwork, homework, family time. It's starting to pick out what's important and what's not important. So when you forget that thing at the store, I don't know how important that was. Did I really need that? Do I got to go back and get in that line? Or, I think it is an opportunity for us all to evaluate our priorities and identify in our life what's important and what's not important. Hey, we got another pop-in. It's the other half of the Bates brother team here. Dean Bates, what do you got for us, Dean?
Hey, thanks for having me. I've been good. I've been trying my best every day to stay busy, stay on top of all my grades, along with carrying out that training schedule we were given when school ended. I think it's important to not lose focus on what's important right now. We're all a team. We're all in this together, and although we're not physically together, we are still following that training schedule we've been given by our amazing coaches who are committing a lot of time to making sure that we can be the best athletes we can be. Our goals, we're still chasing after them. We're not going to let this time stop us from what we enjoy doing, and that's racing and that's competing. I think it's important to, not sit and sulk, because then we won't get anything done. If we're day in and day out carrying this training out, we're going to be amazing athletes, and I think that's important. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for hopping in. It's a pleasure having you, Dean. Thank you so much for a good and positive message. So during Dean's pop-in, we did our first studio transition. So now welcome to the studio, Jude, who replaced Coach Baker, who kept their 6-foot social distancing during the transition. And Jude also had his face covering on when he came in, but for the camera, we're taking that face covering off because we're maintaining that 6-foot separation. So thanks again for joining us, Jude. We talked to Ryan about his experience with remote learning. How's it working for you?
It's working pretty well for me, honestly. I've always been more of an independent learner where I get the notes from the teacher and I'm able to go home and teach myself what I really need to learn for the next day, so I'm definitely not falling behind there. It was fun getting used to, honestly, because you could just base your whole day around the assignments that you were getting. At first it was difficult because I would wake up in the later hours, so I'd start to fall behind there, but now that I've gotten used to it, it's definitely gotten a lot less challenging.
And how are and for an independent learner, I could see where there isn't much of a transition because there is that kind of style learner. Just listen loud, get what I need, and I'll go home and work on the details. When you do have questions, how's the interactive piece working for you? Are teachers, are you emailing questions? Are you snapping questions? How are you getting questions, and how quick is the turnaround time?
Personally, I like to just write a private comment on the certain assignment that we were given, so it goes straight to the teacher and they can see, and so they know exactly what assignment I'm talking about. They respond fairly quickly, which is surprising because they're checking it periodically throughout the day, and they're there for you. They're there to help you with the assignment, so they're definitely doing a great job with that.
Yeah, thanks for that input. And I think the teachers found out very quickly in this process how more time consuming it is to be working from home because you don't have your whole class, and I can't say one time to the whole class and then one person asks the question that all of us are thinking about and then it's resolved, whereas there's a lot of, I think, redundancy, and teachers are, I think, to be commended. Our teachers are putting in a lot more hours than anybody would know, and especially the fact that they're responding, they're turning things around pretty quickly in terms of question and answer would indicate how diligent they are staying on top of the incoming inquiries. So thanks for sharing that perspective. What do you like most? I think as an independent learner, I think I know what the answer is, but what do you like most about the remote learning?
The thing I like most about it is that I can base my whole schedule of the day around the assignments that I was given, because I like to write down all the assignments that I have as sort of a mental note of when I should complete them and just how much I should be prepared for of the workload. So I definitely think that's the most important thing to me.
Cool. Good answer. So hey, we got another pop-in, Dan said, and he's going to be touching upon some things that I think are very worthwhile, how he's using his time. So Dan, what do you got for us?
Hey, how's it going? Dan Seddon here. I'm part of the winter and spring track team. Times have definitely been different for us, but luckily we have 4 great coaches that have been pushing us through it each and every day. Coach Keogh, Coach Baker, Coach Fierro, and Coach Larson. Every day sending us workouts, keeping us motivated, motivational videos. So that's really what's been getting me through. They definitely send us some hard workouts sometimes. Sometimes they really get me going. Really different times, to be honest. I've been skateboarding, skimboarding, surfing, all that stuff. What I did not think I'd be doing right now. More of a summer activities. I'm taking advantage of the time we got now. And just this quarantine times really shows how strong Southern is as a community and how much we all miss each other, rely on each other, and how we still support each other in these times. Also, just another quick message to my classmates and our community. If we all stay together, stay hungry, stay strong, we're going to come back stronger, and we're going to come back stronger than ever. Have a good one.
Wow, what a great message. What a great young man. And Coach, you're not on camera right now, but I just tip my hat to you for assembling such a roster of character men who each one, every one of these reflections are just so powerful. And Dan is one of those special people. I read a note that he wrote to Mr. Whiteman during the Christmas break. It was laying on where I changed to go do my cardio workout, and it was such a moving. It was nothing more than a couple words of appreciation to Mr. Whiteman for what he represents in Dan's life. And boy, I'll tell you, that was moving and reflective of what a great message he gave to us there. Now, my question is to both students that we have on set, so one then the other, take a turn. What's a typical day? Every other student I've talked to, their whole time pattern has changed in use of time. So not everybody's, but most have. So Ryan, have your time patterns changed, and what's a day like now that we're in this remote process?
A day now for me in this remote process, I started working, so it's me waking up really early in the morning before the sun comes up, going to work. After a long 8-hour shift, I come home, and then I have time for my assignments because I get home around noon to 1, sometimes later, but I have plenty of time to exercise when I get home, do my homework, do things that keep me sane, just anything to get through the day, get through the time, keep me happy, keep the family happy. All of that keeps everyone happy. As long as we're staying safe, that's good for me.
Now, where are you working at?
So I'm working up in Bayville. I'm working for a produce company, and it's tough. It's a lot of back-breaking lifting, but it's good.
Well, it's the food supply, so it's essential work. So
Yep.
So thank you for doing that. So I imagine because you're getting up so early, you haven't become nocturnal like so many of the other seniors have. All the seniors I'm talking about, I'll send them a text message at 11. I get nothing back because they're still getting up at the crack of noon. But your sleep patterns have to pretty much stay the same.
Yeah, well, during the beginning of this, I would be going to bed early in the morning, and I'd be waking up in the late hours. But I had to turn that around once I got my job. So it kind of helped me, got me back in a normal sleep schedule, go to bed earlier, and then wake up early.
Gotcha. Good. And Jude, how about your day? Has it changed at all?
It's definitely changed a little bit. I tend to wake up around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I instantly check Google Classroom to see what I have. I write down all my assignments and just write out periodic checklists for the day. And then I tend to eat breakfast, go for a run. I come back, get most of my assignments done, and then I check our Google Team Room that we have where Baker always posts the workouts. I try my best to get that done. I come home, shower, dinner, and then if I have any more assignments, I'll just complete them. And if I'm still up for it, I'll just play some video games, or I'll just go right to sleep.
So you haven't become completely nocturnal?
Not yet.
Some I'm talking to are up until 3, 4 o'clock, and then they're the ones getting up at 11, 12, as opposed to you're getting a few extra hours of sleep. 9:30 is what I heard your starting point is. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
That's my best.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Hey, we got yet another pop-in. This time it's Nick Fabrizio. What do you got, Nick?
Hey, it's nice to see everyone. I've been doing good. I've been doing well. The family's been doing well. Every morning I've been waking up later than I usually expected, but I eat. Sorry, Baker, I've been eating a lot. Probably 10 pounds maybe. Oops, sorry. But do my schoolwork. I've been running every day. I've been working out. I feel strong. I feel healthy. I feel ready to go. To my teammates, I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy too. This is really a weird time. It's unexpected. Life throws curveballs at us, but we just got to adjust to it and just, in the future, don't take anything for granted and just keep working hard. Baker, miss you, man.
Hey, Nick, great question. Great response, not a great question, great response. And I couldn't agree with you more on a couple points. First of all, we just got to stay strong and we'll get through this. But I too am putting on 10 pounds of weight, so I don't know who's not, but I really can understand Nick, putting on that few extra pounds. To Ryan, now that we know we're not coming back, which is, that was a gut punch Monday, as Coach said, we were all hoping for, and it was deflating, but it's the right decision. We have to trust our leaders who are looking out for the greater good. But that means it's a different scenario for the seniors. What are your thoughts about graduation and prom now?
I would definitely say I'd like to hold on. I wish we could postpone graduation and prom. I wish we could take it late into the summer, say possibly August if it's possible. But it's not realistic for most of the kids who go to school, say people who go to academies for the military branches. They have to leave first thing in the summer, so they're going to be missing out on all these opportunities. But I would definitely like to hold on to the fact that possibly we might have a prom and a graduation, because it's everything that a senior wants. It's all the normal things that everyone else got, and we'd love to have that last experience with each other, the last walk on the field for graduation, getting to throw the caps, getting to shake everyone's hands, and getting to see, for some people for the last time. So I definitely would like to hold on to the thought that it could be possible.
Well, thanks for sharing that, and hold on to that thought that it can be possible, because anything's possible. We've been meeting starting last week when we knew that this was likely going to be the final decision, started meeting with decision makers in our think tank, and then yesterday met with 8 seniors who are prominent members of the senior class because of their accomplishments academically and athletically. So we've started planning, and there is going to be a virtual graduation on Friday, June 12th, which would be at the time the normal graduation if we were going to be having the old school graduation. So there will be one, a product that is assembling right now and that you will be part of, and that there will be one that goes off virtually at the scheduled time on Friday, June 12th. But we are holding open the option of doing a supplemental redo if social distancing allows the opportunity for larger groups to gather in a time frame that we're still the seniors are still in the area. We are going to be open to replicating a truncated version of graduation, just so you have the real experience on the field with whatever social guidelines allow in terms of participants. And the same thing for the prom. We know that a prom now is not going to happen during what's left in the calendar of what would have been the remaining part of the school year. But again, meeting with this group of leaders that we're going to continue to, and we only chose 8, by the way, Ryan, because it's Mrs. Vial and I who are working with them. So 8 + 2 = 10, and we're being respectful of the no gatherings of more than 10. We'd like to have more voices, but that we're restricted to that number 10. So, but they have that group of leaders has very well represented your senior class and identified what's important, both for a graduation and a prom. And we are holding open the option of, if social guidelines allow, having some sort of an assemblance of a get-together, whether it's a luau, whether it's a prom, but we're keeping open that option too. But so hopefully that gives you something to hold out hope to, knowing that on June 12th there will be a commencement exercise that everybody will be able to tune in and participate in, just in case we can't gather again for a real in-person. Now again, and moving on to the next question, but either to Ryan or Jude, but since Ryan had the last one, we'll start with Jude and then go to Ryan. Again, I've seen both of you, so I think I know the answer to this. How are you adjusting to the new social distancing guidelines of face coverings, store capacities, 6 foot, can't get in, shop right, when you want to, you might have to wait. How has the whole process and transition been for you, Jude?
It's definitely a challenge getting used to. Like, I work 2 to 3 days a week, and so I always have to wear my face covering when I work. So that's definitely something I'm not used to. The social distancing aspect isn't too hard, besides the fact like you can't go out and see your friends, and when you go to the store, you have to wait at least 6 feet apart. Like, I've gone shopping a couple times for my family, and I've had to wait outside numerous times. It's been like the line has been like elongated as long as like 20 feet past like the normal amount. So it's definitely tough. The wait times are definitely a lot longer than usual. So
Right. Now, my observation is everybody is working together at like I was in one of the box store retailers, wholesaler retailers last weekend, and it was no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Everybody's playing by the rules and has their face covering on and staying away from each other and being polite. Every once in a while, I found myself forgetting that, you know, I'd be starting to walk up in line and go, oh, wait a minute, I gotta stay at I gotta stay at this red box here, you know, because you know the old habits come back to you. It's like I gotta get out of here. But it sounds like you're adjusting, and you said you're working. Where are you working at?
I work at the Bubba in Manahawkin. So.
And what do you do there?
I mainly work on the front line, just preparing the food, bagging it up, just ringing people up, just all different stuff, whatever my boss needs me to do on a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, again, that's the food side, the essential part of the, you know, the food chain. So I'm glad that you're helping to keep us nourished and keep the food moving. So now, Ryan, I'll go to you with that question. How have you? I know you came in both times with your face mask on, so you got that piece down. How about all the rest of the social distancing guidelines?
I would say definitely, because muscle memory, most things are more difficult considering we have these guidelines that we have to follow. But I'd say it's more selfish reasons why most of us don't want to follow it. It's because it's more difficult. We're not used to it. Obviously, things that keep us mentally happy, like seeing your friends, going out, say going to a theme park, going to the beach with a bunch of friends, going to a big pool party or anything. It's definitely harder. We all want to do it, but we can't. I'd say I adjusted very quickly to it because it's simple rules. It's simple things you have to follow to keep everyone else happy. And I'm happy to be a model out in public for the 6-foot rule, following all the directions, not making people worried if I walk near them without a mask. So I'm glad that my family and my friends I've seen have been able to follow the rules, and that it's an easy adjustment if you look at it the right way.
Well, and that's a great perspective to have, and thank you for sharing it, because my view is whether, you know, some people don't agree with this, but whether you agree with it or not, if you just follow the rules, the longer we do well, the sooner we will be able to start getting back to a larger group congregations, which is for a school, that's our ultimate goal. So thank you for being that positive outlook, and if we all just do what we need to, we maybe sooner than later we'll get back together again. Hey, we got another pop in. This time it's Mike Chanda. Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to take this time to tell you all what Southern Track and Field means to me. I've been running Southern Track for the past 2 years, and we've been in my 3rd year, if under different circumstances, but not being able to run and compete right now, it really stinks. Not being able to see my teammates who I've built such a strong relationship with, and not being able to see my coaches who have built this program up to such a high standard. It really hurts me and the whole rest of the team. All winter, we pushed each other to be the best team and the best people that we could all possibly be. And now that we're not able to compete and show everyone what Southern Track and Field would have been able to do this season, it's really unfortunate, but we have to do what's best right now, which is staying home. To all of our seniors, I just wanted to say thank you for making this year as great as it was, and being such great leaders. I couldn't thank you enough. To all of our coaches, I want to say thank you for making this year as great as it was, and yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and stay safe.
Boy, you can see the sincerity and the emotion in Mike, and what a great message for Ryan and the rest of the leaders. So you've obviously been a positive impact as a leader corps, because there's every one of the underclassmen are appreciating you and feeling bad that you didn't get a chance to have that last season. Speaking about last season, since this is your senior year, Ryan, what do you have on the horizon for Life After Southern, and when does that start?
So for me, Life After Southern starts around fall. All summer I'm going to be working, but come fall I'm going to be attending OCC and Kane University's nursing program. I'm going to be doing my prerequisites, and I'm definitely going to be involved with a lot of intramural if it allows us, if this doesn't run into the fall. So I'm definitely going to be busy. I'm all booked up. I'm all ready. I have my entire 4 years planned out. I'm excited. Can't wait to get moved on with life and everything. It's scary, but I'm ready for it.
So OCC and Keene, what a great business decision that is, because they have that program that you can go from the associate degree right to Keene, and for value compared to what other institutions are charging. And are you going in the STARS program too, or?
No, I just missed it, but I was looking at a couple other colleges, and I was just narrowing it down. I was looking at the list. I couldn't make a decision between 3 schools, but eventually I just looked, and it was the smartest thing. I'd be getting the same great education for the same job for a much better and a much affordable price.
Yeah, no, that's the key. Is that the quality of instruction is no less or better than any of the other marquee institutions, but what's there for sure is the value in that decision. So you'll be having more in the bank account than less when you finish the process. Well, good luck to you on that. And so you were going to be pursuing nursing. Did you happen to participate in our mini medical academy when we ran that?
I was signed up for it, but I was very sick when that came across. I think I had the flu during that time, so I actually had to miss it. I didn't have a choice. I really wanted to make it. I was really upset.
I was just curious because so many of our students, when I say curious, that a lot of them that are pursuing interest in medical fields were influenced by that mini medical academy we ran for a couple of years, and we're going to run another one next year too. So, well, best of luck to you. Certainly, the healthcare industry is now considered our first responders. So, you'll be preparing to be on the front line of what we hope will never happen again, which is another, event that impacts all of mankind like this one has. Jude, how about you for next season? You're a junior. You're coming back as a senior next year. Is your schedule assembled, and if so, what's it look like?
My schedule, the rough draft is assembled so far. I'm going to be taking AP Spanish 5, Honors Calc, Advanced English. I'm going to be taking Baking and News Broadcasting, and I'm also going to be taking AP Physics. So it's definitely going to be a tough course next year, but I'm honestly prepared for it. I've been studying a lot over this quarantine with the virtual learning, so I definitely think I'll be prepared for next year.
Cool. And I think teachers, especially the high end, the high, when I say high end, the AP, more workload related, are going to take into consideration that the fourth marking period was different than any other fourth marking period. So I'd imagine the ramp up with the new material will be respectful of the fact that the fourth marking period was different.
Yeah.
And I think it's your schedule reflects how Southern has maintained a really wide range of electives. So in your 2 elective slots, you're going to have news broadcasting, which will be here in the studio, and you're also going to have family consumer science or baking class.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, again, that's because we are committed to a wide range of electives. Now, a question for both of you before we do our next studio transition, and that would be, what are you doing now? There's no season. That's been decided for us. Are you staying in shape, and what's motivating you, if you are staying in shape, to stay in shape? So we'll start with Ryan.
So what's really motivating me to stay in shape is just to not fall behind. I want to keep up, and definitely Coach Baker, Coach Gale, all the other coaches on our Google team room, it's definitely giving us a good guideline. I'm just coming off a back injury from a track season, so I have to modify my workouts, but having that there, it really motivates me to do the workouts because I don't have to create them myself. It gives me something to do, keeps me on a routine, and that definitely is great, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I think that's important because it's not just, of course, when the season's in, a real season's underway, it's about competition. It's about preparing for your next event. But now you just have to translate that, in my opinion, now it's just about maintaining good fitness. All the exercises and all the routines that coaches have asked you to do are applicable to healthy living, and just maintaining a good motor and that's going to be driven by a good brain. So, I'm glad to hear that you're staying fit, even though that it won't be for competitive reasons. Jude, you have a chance for another season. So, what's motivating you to stay in shape, and what are your hopes for the next school year?
What's motivating me mostly is just the fact that I still got 2 more seasons left, and I got to make the best of it. As Ryan mentioned earlier, we have a Google team room where Coach Baker, Fee, and Keo all post different workouts on a day-to-day basis. So I try my best to complete as many of those. And then at nighttime, occasionally, I'll do my own lift down in my basement or something. So I'm definitely trying everything I can to keep pushing myself and just be the best runner and teammate that I can be come next season when it's my time.
And when it's your time. And then we got to hope that next season, and what a great message that is for all the underclassmen, with the hope that there is upcoming competitive seasons, things settle down, antibodies, vaccinations, whatever we need to get us back to normalcy, we'll get here eventually. So we're hoping it's in time that you do have a competitive season. And how important would it be to come out of the gates like gangbusters, fueled by the frustration of losing the spring 20 season, but cross country or whatever your next winter track, whatever your next seasons are, we're coming in with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Here's Southern, and we're ready, right? Yeah, so that's an important for all the underclassmen to adhere to. Now we have one more question while we have both athletes on set, and then we're going to transition back to Coach rejoining us. So before that next transition, what's the message for your teammates or your classmates of the senior class, Ryan?
So I would say, considering it's my last year, just take advantage of the time you have. Don't leave anything behind, because look what happened to all of us seniors. It was supposed to be it's our 4th year, it's our best season. We're all supposed to be in peak condition, and it got robbed from us. So I would definitely say don't hold back. Don't half anything. Don't just give everything your all. Don't regret. No regrets. Can't have any of that. So just honestly keep up. Give your all, and don't let what happened to us happen to you. Don't have any regrets. I have regrets. I held out a little bit because I was in the process of getting injured my winter season. So I should have just put my all. I really regret it because I was trying not to put myself out for spring, which ended up happening anyway. So if I put my all in one race, maybe I would have had an extra medal on my wall. Who knows? But just take your time, know your time wisely. It really hurts me to talk about this because I messed up a couple of times. I didn't do as good as I should have. Maybe I cut a workout, and I look back on it and it hurts, and I wish I could go over and do it again. So just give everything your all and don't look back and wish you did more.
A great message, and no doubt a message that you yourself not only shared but have learned from, and I'm sure we'll make adjustments going forward. We all have that rear view mirror. Oh, if I'd have worked harder, what if I could have? So that's a great message to get rid of the what ifs and just make sure you're doing everything you need to be doing. Thank you for sharing that. And Jude, you have hopefully a season coming back. What kind of message do you have for your classmates or for your teammates, either or both?
For my seniors, it's definitely a series of just unfortunate events for them. They've been preparing their whole high school years for this, and like Ryan said, this was their peak conditioning, so this was their chance to really make a statement of who they are and what they could do, but unfortunately that's been taken away from them. So for my grade and all the underclassmen, I just hope that we can stay focused, stay smart, and stay healthy, and we can just attack the following years as best as we can and really put Southern on the board and show everybody in the surrounding county what we're capable of.
Cool. And I couldn't agree more. Southern, you said put Southern on the board. Southern's already on the board. Southern's at the top of the mountain. We just got to make sure we stay in shape and work hard to maintain that position. Because once you're in the top, everybody's looking to knock you down. So, but that's a great message, and I could see how sincere you are with that message. So, thank you for sharing. Hey, we got another pop in, and this is senior Christian Monterosa. Christian, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, I hope all is well. I know it's hard during these tough times to make the best of everything, but that's all you can do. Just go out, get your runs done, get stronger, get smarter, do your work at school. That's all you can really do to make these days the best days you possibly can. And I know for me and most of the seniors, it's hard because this is our last chance to run with a gold S on our chest. And that's kind of hard to think about and kind of surreal because we've been doing this for years. I started spring track in my freshman year because my friend Pat encouraged me to go do it. And I wasn't really going to do it, but I was like, all right, whatever, let's see what happens. I remember Baker walking in, and I was like, this guy looks tough. And I got a little intimidated because it's kind of scary, my first time ever running for school. But it's been fun. These past 4 years have been the most amazing years of my life. You guys sculpted me, sculpted everyone into amazing young men, and changed us into amazing human beings. You have taught us to be caring and kind towards everyone, and just hold your head up high even when you feel down. These 4 years have changed my life and are the best memories that I could possibly ever have with anyone. And I thank you guys, Baker, Keogh, Fee, and Larson. Every one of you guys had an impact on me. Even if you're not my actual coach, that it's training me to do long distance or whatever it is, you guys have had an impact on us. And that's everyone. Even the freshmen, sophomores, juniors. You guys will have an impact on everyone, and I thank you. For the underclassmen, make these 4 years the best 4 years you possibly have, because they go by so quick. Like, I don't really even remember freshman year, sophomore year. Junior year, it's barely in there. Senior year is just the best year. And to have it cut short by this COVID-19 virus is just crazy. And I remember a Friday, before we got the call saying schools be canceled, I never thought that might be my last day of my senior year. It's just crazy to think about, but you just gotta make the best of it. I know it's hard, but you just gotta live through it. Thank you guys. See you later.
Wow, what a Christian, what a powerful message. Thank you for sharing it with us. A picture's worth 1,000 words, Christian. When you were talking, I was watching Coach Baker and the reaction that your words had on him. No doubt you said in there that those coaches have impacted you. Please know that I can tell you from the impact that your message had on Coach, you guys have equally impacted the coaches. Would you agree,
Couldn't
Scott?
agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Like I said, I could see the emotion boil in you when Christian was reflecting. So go back to Coach Keogh. A couple have talked about the Jackson virtual, and you sent me the link to it. So I'm watching it going, how do these guys pull a track meet together? And then I realized it was a virtual meet. So how did that all come together, and who won?
Well, the coach from Jackson, Steve Theobald, and I are pretty good friends, and we're both really passionate about track and field and cross country. So we're talking about what can we do to make these kids still get some kind of a season. So we said, let's put a virtual track meet together. Now he's a track mind, but he's not technology minded. I'm a little more with that. So we made up this Google sheet where the kids submitted their times, what they think they could run right now. And after they did that for their events, I ran it through an algorithm where they randomly were assigned a probability between 95 and 105% of their data, and that was the result that they came up with. So it's kind of cool. Like, you didn't even know it was going to happen, and just how it came out. By the time it was done, it was pretty stellar. Jackson Braddock ran like a 4-minute mile, which is pretty stellar. It's awesome. And it was just really cool stuff. Jackson did beat us. Unfortunately, they're very senior heavy, very good up top. We'll get them the next 3 years. I'm not worried about it. I feel bad about these guys losing this year, but we'll be okay. It was really cool. It was a lot of work going into it, but it was so much fun to do.
Yeah, so I was puzzled. When you first sent it to me, I'm trying to think. First I thought, track meet? What the heck was going on? Oh, no. And then I realized virtual track meet. And then I realized, I didn't like the first couple of races because Jackson was sweeping the first. I guess it was all the sprints first.
The sprints first, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, we're Southern. When are we? And then I could see gradually some of our distance at 400 and some of the,
And it was cool. It came down to the 4x4, which is
what
we
it
didn't
came
plan
down?
out. The 4x4. If we won the 4x4, we won the meet.
Did Jackson win?
Jackson won the 4x4.
No, Jackson Braddock.
Jackson Braddock, he won the mile. He actually false started in the 2 mile.
Now, how, in a virtual meet, has a false?
I don't know.
So it's just something random that happens?
Well, I kind of planned it out that he was going to false start. We still wound up sweeping the 2 mile afterwards because we had the depth for it there, but it was kind of fun. Just, hey, he can't have all the glory.
Jackson, if you're watching, he put the fix in. He put a fix in against us. Man, I don't know. I think I'm going to call you out on that one. Well, anyway, that was cool. Thanks for putting that together.
Awesome.
And are you going to be able to do that with any other school, or was it?
It's hard because you're trying to get a hold of the track coaches and trying to get them to do stuff, and it's a matter of not only the coaches doing it, it's the kids doing it as well. So we had thought about maybe doing county relays with it and stuff, but unless the coaches are all in and doing it, it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know all the rosters. I know a lot of them, but I don't know all of them.
Right.
So it's tough to do. I was hoping that this would somehow be able to get back together and have even this small meet amongst ourselves. Unfortunately, it's not really in the cards.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Well, thanks for doing that particular event because I found it interesting to try to follow, and I was just curious as to.
We were chatting online. It was like Google Meet.
So when the thing was going on,
it was live. It was like 2 hours. We were just typing the entire thing, go back and forth.
A lot of trash talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So their players are on, and our players are just the coaches.
Coaches were talking. The kids could comment on the side in the comment stuff. You could see comments coming through.
Okay.
So it was kind of fun.
Now, how well do those two teams know each other? Because I would imagine they're a very established program. We're a very established program. So over time, does Jackson Braddock get to know that cohort of kids
Absolutely.
he's routinely competing against?
And that's the sport of cross country and track and field. It's not like they're always like a football where they're trying to just pound each other. They're competing against each other. They use some competition as a chance to improve oneself. So they get to know each other, and it's more of a camaraderie type thing. So yeah, a lot of those kids know each other back and forth. They talk, they Snapchat, they do all the fun stuff back and forth.
I suspected that because I saw the video when Jackson won was it the county or the short conference last year? During him being interviewed by a journalist, how many of the opposing participants came over and gave him a slap on the back or a high five during the interview?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the sport. And that's what, I mean, it's a sport so addictive that there's so much camaraderie and so much good feel about it. It's not like, oh, you beat me. It's like, you beat me. Good for you. Like, made me run better as well. So it's the cool thing about what we do.
Yeah, cool. Hey, not so cool. How many seniors are in the program right now? And I say not so cool. This is the reality of who's been impacted. We know Christian, we know Ryan. What's your overall percentage of the seniors?
I mean, the numbers, I think we had like 120 when the season started.
120 participants, yeah.
There are 23 seniors right now.
23?
Yeah, and it's tough. Like, here's you want them. The hardest part for me at every school year is at the end of the school year, because all my seniors move on. Like, I know these guys for 4 years, some of them for 12 seasons.
Right.
So they've moved on. And that's for me, it's almost like a mild state of depression. So now I've been dealing with that the entire season. So look, anyway, Coach Fierro, Coach Keogh, and Coach Larson and I have been talking. We talk almost every day. And what are we going to do something for the seniors? And we have something in the works, but I mean, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag right now. So.
Yeah, so those kind of things will be a surprise and done when they can be following the social distancing guidelines. I know a lot of the coaches now, since Monday, everybody going into the weekend was hoping for a shortened season. NJSI AA had extended competition potential to June 30th. That gave the appearance that maybe we can do something. As soon as it was clear that we weren't going to be able to do something, virtually every one of the coaches have reached out with ideas about recognizing their seniors. So I'm working with all those coaches on how that can be done. Of course, we always have to comply with the gatherings of 10, social distancing requirements, but we have switched gears to what can we do to honor and recognize
that's what we do
these
so
seniors.
well. We always honor the right people, and that's a great spot. This school's awesome like that. It's a great district.
Well, but I appreciate you saying that, but we got to keep thinking real hard, because these seniors deserve our very best.
Absolutely.
And we got to figure out whatever you got to do for those 23 small groups of 5. We got to do something to give them closure on that season that didn't happen. Think about the task of that, closure on a season that didn't happen for kids who put this program at the top of the mountain.
Exactly. Why we're here because of them, and now we can't even honor them in the right way.
But we will. We'll figure something out. Hey, we got another pop-in. We got Thomas Olkowski popping in. Hey, Thomas, what do you got for us?
Hey, everyone. I just wanted to say I hope you and your families are doing really well with everything that's been going on for the past couple of months. And the seniors, I really miss all you guys, and I hope you guys get to have a graduation ceremony and finish out the rest of high school. And for juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, we have a lot of stuff coming up for the upcoming seasons for track and cross country. And don't let all the stuff that's been going on affect you in a negative way. We got to just keep working as hard as we can for everything that's going to come up. And thank you for the coaches and teachers for being here for us throughout everything, still teaching us as best they can. And everybody, I just hope you stay safe, try to make the best of what's going on right now, and just live life.
Great message. Just live life, do the best we can, and know that, Thomas, life is going to get back to normal eventually. But in the meantime, this helps us understand what's important and what's not so important. So Coach, in hindsight, this was, we talked before the season, this was an incredibly talented group that had no limits. So what were the goals for this group?
I mean, going into the season, like, we were trying to, obviously win locally, the division, the county. Short conference is tough at CBA, but then going down to states and see if we can do it on states and sectionals down there. We have a very talented team. Seniors, juniors, sophomores, the whole gamut, and a great freshman class too. So who knows what we could have done? Like, that was the thing. This team was so good, and you lose that potential. It's like, and then it gets pulled away from you. And it was like sudden. Like, we practiced on the 13th, thinking I'd be back on Monday with these guys again, and it didn't happen. Like, so you're trying to communicate. you've had this potential here, and now you have no idea what's going to happen with it.
And what you just said, Scott, everybody practiced on the 13th. Lacrosse was getting ready for Notre Dame. You were getting ready for, to kick it off. And again, I would go back to how deep your roster was. You had built such a deep roster with so many talented people in the marquee events that, although we lost a virtual meet to Jackson, I think if we showed up,
I think we should. It's a whole other ball
It's a
game.
whole different ball game, yeah. So that's got to be hard for you to digest. But maybe it becomes the motivation in future years to, work that much harder and get that much more accomplished to give this class back what they start, because this is all built on their shoulder. Anything that happens going forward, it's all on their shoulders.
Absolutely, and it'd be foolish to think otherwise.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. So now a question for both Coach and Jude, but since it's been Coach and I, Jude, we'll start with you. I know you guys have a really fun and camaraderie and unique approach to practice and to being together. I can see that by just how you guys interact. What are you going to miss? What are you missing most about your regular practice routines?
I mean, honestly, the best part of practice for me was it was a huge stress reliever. Like if I was having a bad day in school, I got like a bad grade on like a test or a quiz, or I got in an argument with one of my friends, I could go there and it would just clear my mind. I could just focus on the finish line and just do everything I can while making memories with some of my great friends that are on the team. So I'm definitely going to miss that a ton.
Right. And what I never could help notice because I'm usually working out or out in the sports complex during the beginning and towards the end of your practices, how close-knit you guys are, and you have the packs of the runners and the packs of the weight guys and the throwers, but it's a really close-knit group. So I'm impressed with that brotherhood that you've bonded, and I can imagine that's hard to get used to the absence of that. Yeah. And Coach, what about you? What are you missing most about those daily workouts?
I mean, I think we say we have 120-something kids on the team, and I couldn't tell you the exact number without looking, because they're all just like people, and they're just part of my life. So it's just a matter of just having another finger on my hand kind of thing. So I miss having that interaction with them and seeing how they interact with each other and then talking. The camaraderie of it all is just amazing. Like how they interact with each other, how they interact with us, and seeing like boys become men. Like it was just to watch that transformation from freshman to senior year. It's awesome. And even every on the day to day, it's just so many awesome things that happen. Like Christian before.
That's what I was going to say. When you said boys become men, I think the classic example is Christian. I've always seen him because he's such a big physical presence.
Yes.
You can't help but you get your attention. But to see how he's developed and what a outstanding young man he's
I
become.
remember him the first day when he walked in.
Oh, so you remember the day he said, "Oh, this guy's going to be hard."
Yeah. I was trying to be nice. I don't know, but and you see that. But then that's the story on and on again. There's so many great kids. There's so many people. You could see how they grow up throughout the course of that. And we're so lucky in that I coach from freshman and varsity. It's not like I just varsity. You coach all 4 years. You get to see that growth in such a great level, and I miss that. Like I miss seeing my sophomores become juniors. You miss that transformation because this is where it happens.
Right.
They work hard all year long, and that's like the part where it's supposed to be the fruit of the.
Well, again, that's where we take the next opportunity we have and make it as special, if not more special, to watch those transition. Talking about great young men, the man, the myth, the legend, Jackson Braddock. He's coming in. And Jackson, what do you got for us?
Hey everyone, I hope everybody's staying happy and healthy during this challenging time and continuing to make the most of it every day. I know it can be difficult to find things to do, to keep yourself busy, but I think it's a time that we can all better ourselves and better the people around us. So I hope everybody's staying healthy and enjoying this unique opportunity.
What a great message, Jackson. Now, I'm shocked that I haven't seen him since the haircut.
No.
So the last time I saw him, he had the flow going.
It was a Floby haircut.
Oh.
It was a Floby haircut. No, it was a surprise, too, because I've seen the video before, so I seen him his haircut. I'm like, oh, gosh, he cut it. It was just a nice flow, but then, legit, he had the Floby haircut.
Yeah, he's handsome either way, whatever the haircut. And what a contributor to this program and to this school he's been. Now, how would he qualify for that Nike Oregon thing? I guess that
was in the fall. Hopefully, that happens again. We'll see what happens. But they have that Nike outdoor And we were talking about that, what's going on, because his focus now is trying to win the Nike Outdoor Nationals. He wants to be the national champion next year.
Well, and he has the ability and potential to do
absolutely.
that. But is that still on, or is that still they're waiting to see?
I mean, we check every day to see what's going on with it, and it all depends what happens. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen with summer, fall training yet. I mean, hoping that we have some kind of resemblance of some kind of practice this summer. We can. So if that happens, then we're going. I mean, and hopefully we can bring a team down this year. We have a bunch of guys working that way to be there.
Oh, okay. So you're going to have a group. I didn't know who.
We have this junior class, and I mean, they are, like, in terms, we set a Google Classroom up, and we set plans up, and we have this Strava account, which is how you can follow stuff, and you get to track what they're doing, and they're working. These guys are really working hard right now. So.
Well, talking about working hard, one of the things a lot of different people have told me about Jackson is he trains like a professional.
Yes.
And just has a business-like approach to his training regimen, and I know that your whole program does. So if you got a group going to Nike, if they get to go, I have no doubt that we're going to be in shape and ready to make a Southern statement on the national arena.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the team. That's what we're trying.
Cool. Jude, next question is for you. You moved over to the remote chair, so Jude's about 20 feet away from me from the last time he was sitting here next to me, 6 feet away. But that being said, I've asked this to every other athlete who's been in here, and they've all had the same answer, so I'm not sure what your answer is going to be. If you had only one team that you had a chance to have a meet against, who would you would want that to be?
It would definitely be Jackson Memorial. A rematch against them would mean a lot because, as Coach said, they have a very deep roster and they're very senior heavy. So I definitely think it would have been a good challenge for us to run against them and potentially rematch them because it came down to that 4x4 and I lost it for us there at the end. So
virtually lost it. That wasn't real. It was all based on hype numbers. Somebody put bad numbers in. You got to look at it that way.
It's the computer.
Well, you know it's crazy that every other sport has said Jackson too. So I guess that's become our grudge match team. Men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse. It was first with no hesitation. Who do you want to play? Jackson. Everybody wants a piece of Jackson. So the pattern is consistent. So they must have a good program, and we tip our hat to them for having the program that, that our athletes who are the creme de la creme, they want to compete against the best. Because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
So all right, well then Jackson's 3-0 now. We'll see. We got another team coming in a couple of days. We'll see what that team has to say. Now we have another pop in. Hey, we got Kai Manzello. Hey Kai, what do you got?
Hey everyone, I just wanted to take some time and talk about the misfortunes that 2020 have brought us so far. Fortunately, COVID-19 cut our spring track season short and ended our seniors' career very abrupt. And it's very unfortunate because they were really looking forward to it, and I was really looking forward to ending the season with them. I just wish them good luck and a hopeful future. As far as me being a sophomore, I'm looking forward to my junior year in all sports, and I hope everyone's safe and healthy, and I wish everyone a great summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Kai. Thanks for popping in. So we're starting to wrap this program up. Coach, my last question to you is any message that you have for your team and or for your math students?
Yeah, for everyone. It's just, you can't control the circumstances sometimes. It's bigger than us, and unfortunately this is something that was small and it's became huge. But we can control how we respond to it. And as long as we're staying positive and doing the right things to get better, I mean, we're going to overcome it. We're going to be better off for it. So keep your head up, keep your chin up, keep moving forward, and keep the grind on.
Good message. Coming up on our last pop-in, we got Nunzio D'Amelio. Nunzio D'Amelio.
Hey guys, just wanted to say I miss you all for my friends, teachers, teammates, pretty much anyone that I don't see as often due to this quarantine. Obviously no one wants this to be a thing and affect us all in one way or another. However, we don't need this to be completely negative on our lives. Personally, I've been trying to stay positive, try new things that can help myself and keep me occupied to just get through this. Anyways, I hope everyone just tries to stay safe and makes the best of it. See ya.
Thanks, Nunzio. And I just was checking with Scott. That's another flow change. We went from the long flow to the tighter look. So was that a directive you put out, or was that?
I mean, I haven't got a haircut, and they're getting haircuts. I have to talk to their barber.
Yeah, how do they do that? Wait a minute. Yeah.
Nunzio actually cut his own hair, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well, that's another pattern that the track guys are going tight, going from flow to tight. So now, Jude, our last question before we wrap up altogether to you. If you want to share any thoughts to your class of 2021, who are the seniors rising, any thoughts for the outgoing class of 2020?
Honestly, like Nunzio said, let's not only look at the negatives here. Let's look at the positive and take this time to really work hard and better ourselves in any way that we can with all this free time that we're given. And let's just come back stronger next year for the best senior year that we can have and that we can make of this whole thing. So, and then for the underclassmen to just cherish every second that they have of high school, because you never know when it could be taken away from you. So.
Yeah, that's I think what it was embedded in Ryan's message when he was on camera. He's still in the studio with us, but he wasn't on the camera for that. But I think that's maybe the takeaway now is just really understand what's important and then be grateful and take advantage of every moment that you have, because you never know when it's going to change. So that's going to wrap up this broadcast of keeping in touch with everybody. And as hard as it's been in this unprecedented time, we will adjust. We have adjusted as it was Jude that said earlier, and I'm going to repeat it, the quote from Deion Sanders, we're going to be all right. I promise you that. We're going to get through this. We just have to keep doing all the right things, and the longer we do the right things and follow the direction of the great leadership we're getting in this community, and it is a great team of people who are making day-by-day decisions about the guidelines and how to implement them, that as long as we do that and follow the guidelines, eventually we'll get back to what we remember as a more normal existence. Coach, I want to thank you for being here. Ryan, off camera, Jude, on camera, thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank all the members of the track team who jumped in with a message. And my last thanks are to, behind the scenes, never on the camera, but always being there so that the cameras are working, is senior Shayla Duca and the staff member Taylor Brennan, who's an incredible member of our IT department and our maintenance and production department. So with that, we're going to sign off with a signature closing of, again, good to see you, and now patiently, but with anticipating, can't wait to see you.